Check my volume really quick. I guess it's not coming up yet. Let's see, it looks like Cobb has joined us and Kevin Sharp's joined us, and it's like they've been talking back and forth. Excellent. Thanks for joining us, you guys. And let's see, here comes the audio. Nope. I guess I first get a video. Now, I'm unable to plug in my microphone, so I'm not sure how the sound sounds. So just give me a minute to check the sound. Okay, testing sound. It is kind of quiet. Sorry, you guys. It's as loud as I can get it. I'll try to talk a little louder. Hopefully it will work. So while we're waiting to open this figure for people to tune in, let's go ahead and finish rebuilding this He-Man figure. I should have some hot water sent back to me. If you remember a while ago, I was working on transforming the Rock into custom He-Man for Filmation, just to show you guys how to do it. But I wasn't actually planning on keeping him that way because I already sold one that I decided. As you guys know, I do like Origins, but it's just not my thing. My thing is actually classics. Look at this Rock. And so, even though I had, where is the Rock shorts? No. I was hoping to put them back together, but at least I can rebuild He-Man in a moment so we can use them for this next build that we're going to do for the custom head. So, all right, let me just put this aside. We'll just build He-Man. Any minute now, some hot water should be coming to me. Let's see who else has joined us. It's Kevin Sharp. I ordered the Super 7 Thundercats and I feel your pain. Yep, the head is what's selling multiples. That is true. In fact, I at one time had 3 of these battle armors, plus the one I have now, on order for pre-order, but I went ahead and just canceled them probably about a week ago. When I got this figure and saw how it looked, there were some things about it I just wasn't too happy about. Hey, thank you so much. I got my hot water here, so let's go ahead and get this He-Man fixed so you can see he still has the Rock's pants on him. And let's just dump him in the water here. Heat that. You know what? I'm going to pull this off first. And we'll dump this in there. We'll dump in these legs too so they're ready to go. We'll put his armor back on because He-Man needs his armor. And then we will make the custom head after we check out the battle armor He-Man. So, and we'll compare the heads, and then I'll make the custom head. Why isn't this going on? Put on your armor, He-Man. So if you guys remember the old comics where this armor was his force field armor or his strength armor, depending on which one he had, but they were both identical, and you couldn't tell the difference, and the figure only came with one. So you pretend like he grabbed the armor for whatever he needed for his particular adventure he was going on, whether he needed protection or strength or whatever it was, then you would grab the corresponding armor for pretend, which was really the exact same armor that he had regardless of which one. You just have to pretend ahead of time which one he put on. It's kind of funny. So there we go, his armor with his cordite in the front. Let's pop his head on there. Ugh. Oh, that's a tight-fitting head. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get these legs out of here. And then we'll start our, let's pull the Rock's legs off. And then put his back on. There we go. Now, first I couldn't find He-Man's head. I had it hidden somewhere, so I was just going to use this guy's head temporarily, just because I couldn't find it. And I can't find the Rock shorts, otherwise I finished building him back to normal too. Guess I got to set him aside for now. But let's go ahead and bust this thing open. Then we'll get back to our custom He-Man there. All right, so here we have our battle armor He-Man. And you can see he has the extra head. That is why everyone's buying it. We have the giant blast from the sword when it transforms. A sword that is a half sword. I wish they would have made it a full sword for this. That'd have been cool. Just so we have a full sword in the set. Then we have his battle axe, his extra hand, and then here is the figure himself. I got the version that did not have the painted boots. Bummer. I really wanted the painted boots version. Let's see, is that bad for paint, that hot water? Nope, the paint, it won't ruin the paint. If you paint it yourself, it could cause problems, but otherwise, no. And on the back of the box, it shows a really cool looking He-Man head with the slices coming through in the battle armor, and then other figures in the line. And then it shows Merman slashing with his corn-on-the-cob sword through He-Man's chest armor, and then Man-at-Arms in the background. So, how fun is that? All right, let's go ahead and bust this thing open. Ah, man. Somebody told me to open the box from the bottom. I wish I didn't. Now I just cut my thumb on this plastic. It's like, man. All right, he comes with a cool comic book that we've seen already. And he comes with the directions on how to use it. And you can see it shows how to insert it into the sword. And then it talks about the two halves, combined with Skeletor's half. And that's about it. That's interesting. It doesn't have the one on what parts are removable, like it did with Skeletor. All right, let's get him out of here. So here he is, battle armor He-Man, and he has the battle cry head, and it does move. Oh, that's a bummer. They put skin up on this part right here, so if you transform into a blue guy, he's going to have the wrong color. That is a tight fit. And his arms do not come off, which I didn't think they would. His waist doesn't come off either, so that's a bummer too. So not a lot of transforming fun at this guy. I was really hoping he could pull his arms off. Now, one thing that does bother me about this, as you guys know, is how small that barrel is on his chest. That just drives me crazy, especially since the arms are unremovable. They could have made the pins shorter just for this figure, since you can't take the arms off anyway. I never quite got why they did that. Anyway, let's go ahead and put his battle axe in his hand, and let's compare to the battle axe. Look at that. We got a shiny silver battle axe compared to the other one, which is just a gray battle axe. So that's kind of cool. I like the shiny metal look. So I think I'm going to use that for the other He-Man figure. And then we have his Sword of Power. The Sword of Power. Yeah, the head sculpt is just awful. It's like something's really wrong, you know? What happened? And we got the giant, monstrous, heavy flame. I think the flame's heavier than the sword, it is. So, and then we have the extra head, which is what everybody wants. I can get it out of there. Oh. I'm just fighting trying to get this head out of there. It just won't come out. Come out of there. They curved it under when they melted the plastic or something. You know what? I got hot water right here. I'll just dip it in there and burp. Now I'll just melt that plastic right up and we'll just pop that head right out of there. Okay. The best laid plans by mice and men. Let me go ahead and continue to fight to get this head out of there. That is crazy. How are little kids supposed to get this head out of here? I think I shrunk it more with the hot water. No. Am I going to have to get a tool to get this out of there? You know what? It's time for me to grab my scissors and let's extract that head. I'll be right back. Come to me, scissors. All right. This is just crazy. I'm afraid I might end up ruining his head just to get it out of there. There we go. Urgh. Hey, I got it. Whew. Hooray. Bum, bum, bum. Let me get an extra light so we can see what's going on here. And there is the head. All that effort. All right, so we'll look at that head in a few minutes. Now, one thing they could have done if they're going to make this a half sword too, is they should have made them opposites. So that Skeletor and He-Man's battle armor swords fit together, and you can use the two swords to create one silver one or one purple one. That'd have been a cool fix too, but they didn't even do that. They gave us the exact same sword. Oh well. It is more silver though, so that's cool. And of course, just like with the old toy, no shield, because of course his battle armor is the shield. So that's why I didn't get it. So let's talk about this small little miniature battle armor. First of all, I want you guys to see the old 80s style versus the new one. The 80s style is just so cool how wide it is across his chest. And this little one is just so itty bitty. It just looks, just looks so lame next to it. Even on the back of the box art, it shows a big, nice, super wide barrel on that chest. So I'm not sure what happened. Even on the box art on the top and the box art on the front, it even shows a nice wide chest. So I'm not sure what happened during the design of that. I believe even the comic shows a big, huge, giant barrel on the chest right there. So it's like, what the heck, Mattel? What were you guys thinking? I mean, I would almost rather have plates that are interchangeable like we saw with the Classics line than to have a small itty bitty barrel, you know? In fact, if they would at least have put some lines around here to kind of size it, and then make part of the M out here and make just the damage in the middle, I'd even go for that. That way then it appears like it's big, you know, but I don't know. Drives me crazy. All right, so let's take a look and compare the heads. You know what? I didn't do the sword. Let's do the sword. Okay. Bad news, it goes in his hand backwards compared to the 80s one, as we've seen before. So you have to aim it outwards to see it look whole. And then this slides on just like that. I have the power. And it looks more like a flame than it does being hit by lightning. It has two different modes. You put it on this way, so it goes all the way down to the hilt. You turn it this way, and it stops at the first bump, unless you shove it on harder. So I guess it doesn't matter. I guess this way it stays on tighter, so it won't fall off. There you go. So there's the inside of it so you guys can see what it looks like. All right, so let's take a look at that head again. Where'd I drop it to? There it is. So here's the head. Here's the head from the original 80s so you guys can compare. It's okay. I like the 80s head better, unfortunately. I do. Here's an older He-Man figure. It's been kind of tattered a little bit, and you can see again. And here is the head from the Ultimate Super 7 figure. just for kicks, let's just go ahead and line all three of these up so you guys can see. Even the Super 7 Ultimate head looks better than the new one. The new one's okay. His chin's kind of sticking out, kind of weird. I'm not sure. It just doesn't quite look like the He-Man we knew. There is some slight differences. And I don't know. It's cool, but it's kind of weird. I think my ink is misplaced on his eyes or something, and his chin's kind of out of shape. All right, so, oh. This is the other head that Super 7 made that came with our cool Ular figure. There's Ular there. So you can kind of see how that works for that. So there they are. Of course, I put Ular's extra head on my laser He-Man because I thought that was cool because I made one version like this a long time ago in the 80s where he had the regular head. All right, I'll be right back. I need to grab a towel. I spilled my water pretty late. Sorry about that. I had a little accident in my water here. Spilled my water. No. On a live video feed. Usually I have something around to protect it from spilling it like that, but this time I didn't. All right, so I do want to talk about Battle Cat for a minute. This is the old 80s Battle Cat, and I found out the armor from the Origins fits on there pretty nicely. In fact, it's kind of strange, is the head is actually the same shape. In fact, the helmet that I made for Panther actually fits on the old Battle Cat. I haven't tried it on Panther yet. So I did pull off the old armor from the 80s that I had because I had a different strap on there just to see how it would work. And surprisingly, you can use the Origins armor on your 80s Battle Cat. So let's go ahead and start making that custom head. So I actually have an extra He-Man head right here. There it is. And we're going to get this ready to, let's see, when you compare the vintage head with the original head, you see the difference. But for me, I do not have the original figure, sadly. It doesn't bother me. That's cool. Pop Attribute, that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and prepare this head so we can actually convert it to fit on the Origins figure. Because I mean, this head is cool and all, don't get me wrong. It's kind of a fun throwback, but the 80s head is just so far superior to any other head we have, so I'm just going to use an 80s head. Now, I'm going to have to go back and repaint right here and stuff and some other things, but I'm going to show you guys some cool techniques on how to make this head work if you haven't seen it already. Let me go and grab some scissors really quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, you guys. Lack of planning, but when I was out there, I went ahead and grabbed one of my helmets that's half painted that I'm working on. And I want to show you how crazy this is because somebody asked me. And here is the original Battle Cat from the 80s. And it does fit on there. And of course it pops up the front, but it actually tucks under his saddle. Now I haven't stuck it on an 80s Panther to see how it fits, but I was really surprised that it is the exact same sculpt or close enough to it that the helmet actually works on the old Battle Cat. That's pretty funny, but I'll have to grab a Panther later on and try it out to see. Anyway. Hey Kevin, thanks for joining us. So let's go ahead and start chopping this poor little head up. So first thing we need to do is we need to cut around He-Man's head right around here and then create a new piece that goes inside there. I'm going to create the new piece first before I start cutting this to make sure I have all the parts I need, because I'd hate to get so far into it and find out I don't have them all. So to do this, we are going to need some O-rings. Oh, hold on a sec. Hey, can you grab some bottles of super glue for me? Three of them, I have them on my desk next to my where my laptop goes for work. Sorry, thank you. Oh. I need some Q-tips too behind there. Sorry, you guys, this is not going as planned. My wife's luckily grabbing some super glue and Q-tips for me, so I can put these together once I figure out what parts I need. So I have some O-rings here, and hey, Kevin, thanks. Thank you so much.
I didn't know if one was empty or not.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think a couple of them might be empty. I'm not sure which ones are. All right, my wife got me some Q-tips and some super glue. Hopefully the bottles are full. So let's go ahead and grab our He-Man figure and pull his head off. And let's see what kind of O-ring support we're gonna need for this. So I like to use these ones I have labeled boot. These actually work for making boots for He-Man figures for classics. It's the same size as the plug for that. And these seem to also work pretty good for going over the bump on top of his head. So you can see right there how it just fits over there nicely. And so I want to get a couple of these. Yeah, those work great. And then for the middle, I grab one a little larger. Ta-da! So I have the boot one, a shoulder one, and a boot one. And that seems to work pretty good. That way when you shove it on, it just plops into the middle one that's a little bit larger. So again, you go to my website, he-bro.com. I have the O-ring sizes on there. And you can see I have the little larger one in the middle and this one on top. Now, after I get these three together, we're gonna need some sort of spacing piece. And this one usually works pretty good. Just to put this on top, and that's usually the height I need for the head to work. Now I usually make it go right up to the top of the head. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these together and get them started so we have it ready. So let me go ahead and get my glue and start gluing these three together. Guess I can aim the camera over here so you guys can watch me glue. Let me get a different bottle. And again, it was a boot and a shoulder and a boot for the sizes that are listed on my site on he-bro.com. Halfway down the list, you'll see them. he-bro.com. So 2 boot ones, 1 shoulder one. And we're just going to glue them together. Just like so. Get these set aside so that way they're ready to be installed in a few minutes. Now when you glue these, you want to put the glue on the small O-ring, not the large one. Otherwise you'll end up with a bigger mess and it won't line up right. So put the glue on the small O-ring and then put the small O-ring onto the big O-ring. Just like that. Now I'm going to hold off on the spacer for right now until I make sure this is spaced right, because we don't know how deep that head's going to go or how many other O-rings we're going to need. And we'll just set this aside. Now I have found using a Q-tip is a great way to dry out the inside of this while you do this. it causes the super glue to dry instantly. So usually I just do it on the inside so I don't accidentally glue it to the inside of the He-Man head. And there we go. So now that we got that started and the glue's starting to dry, let's go ahead and start chopping this poor head up. Let me set this aside for right now. Now I got some various scissors here that I like to use. And sometimes they wear out. Like these ones right here, I labeled A, B, and C, and they're basically my A are my best scissors I have. And then these one right here, they're not very good for aiming, but they're really sharp and they work well for just making nice straight cuts. And these ones right here, of course, are my Mondo ones that will just slice through just about anything. So I'll start with the Mondo ones, and let's cut the bottom of this off. All right, here we go. Oh, and let's go ahead and make the first cut with these and get through that part on his neck. There we go. Let me get a heat gun so I can warm that rubber up a little bit and get it ready. Move some of these figures out of the way so I do not accidentally destroy any figures. That would be bad. Let me go ahead and plug in this heat gun. Now I know I'm going to use my Dremel tool later, so I'll just pull that out right now and get it ready. And of course I have all my Dremel bits. Soon, He-Man, you will have a new head. And of course I got my handy dandy heat shrink tubing, so we can also finish it up with that and make it really professional looking. And I use this too, so there we go. All right, so let's plug this in. Oh, now we're cooking with heat. I just want to kind of warm the rubber up to make it easier to slice and cut. Normally I'd use hot water for this, but I just spilt my water, so I don't have any available right now. So that's why we're resorting to the heat gun. Just pull that out of there. And let's go ahead and start slicing and chopping. I'm gonna have to use the better scissors for this to at least get started. And notice I'm just cutting right by his hairline and then by his chin line on the other side and taking those triangles out. And our goal is to just cut off all that thick rubber. Sorry about that. I didn't know I was out of the camera area. Now this head is awesome because it has the indent right below his hair. That makes it really easy to cut this out. When I was doing that other head for Fisto, he didn't have that indented line right there. There we go. That's a good start. Now let's take my A scissors and cut it a lot closer. Well, that's looking pretty good. All right, so now let's get my Dremel tool out and let's finish this up. Now the bit I have on there is a little bit big, so I'm kind of afraid just to try that one. Let's go and swap that out for a little bit smaller one. like this one right here. That's a great one. Oh yes, that'll work really good. All right, so let's go ahead and get that installed. All right, I want to get it a little bit tighter, so we use a little bit smaller bit. As you guys know, this is my favorite bit to use. I use it quite a bit. Use it quite a bit. Yeah, I use this bit quite a bit. Anyway, I'm just going to get around the bottom of his chin. And right up around his hairline and his jaw where they connect. And just to make sure that's rounded right there and not squared off. You do not want that to rip on you later. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Keeping the chin, but losing the neck. Now you may ask yourself, how can this guy ruin a really cool 80s He-Man head? So a lot of these heads I get from finding figures that are broken online, or by using like Prince Adam figures or battle armor figures that are ruined. So I don't always grab like pristine He-Man figures to grab the head and destroy them. So usually I try to find figures that have seen better days. All right, that looks pretty good. So there's our head, all trimmed out, ready to go. Pop actor, you are hilarious, man. That would sound like something Mattel would do. All right, so now let's go ahead and put this on our ball so we can see how far this has to go in. Now I'm first going to heat shrink some tubing on this ball just so it's the same size as the one on the Origins figure. Just a little bit smaller than the Origins figures one. Let's see if we got a close size. Close, but not quite. It's a little bit bigger. And I do this just so I can pretty much figure out how it's going to fit once I stick the head actually on the actual real figure. So that's why I like to size something close. There we go. Let's check that out and see. Yep, that's just about right. You can see the head stays on there. And this is a great way also to paint your heads, because now you have something to put it on that you can actually paint the head on. So it's always good to create some sort of ball tool to hold your action figures' heads in place. All right, so now that we have that, let's put this on there. And let's see how far we have to go. You can see here, there's still a long ways to get to the top of that head. So let's try that piece that I had. Now I have a couple of these plastic washers here. And I can't find my cool one that I had. I had one left too, and I must have set it down somewhere. But I can't rewind the video and see where I set it down at. See, that's why I should keep this place more tidy when I'm doing this. Hey, look at that. I could actually even use this piece. That's kind of cool. Just glue that back on top. And the rubber would probably actually adhere pretty easily. Anyway, let's stick that on there and see if that's close. You can see it just falls right in there. And I'll put this on top. Still not enough. So let's grab one of these plastic washers. Put that on top. That on top. See if that fits. And you know what? That looks like it's pretty close. So let's go ahead and start gluing that together as well. And it does have a small hole in it, which works great for lining up with the actual hole of the bump of the He-Man head. Let's go and pull this off of here before it accidentally gets stuck on there. Now, if I was smart, I would have washed these off with alcohol first. That's what I usually do, but I was kind of in a hurry because I knew you guys were watching and I didn't want to grab my alcohol. You can get alcohol wipes for that too. It makes it a lot easier. So now that I have this all built up, I'm now going to grab some heat shrink tubing and, oh, it's too small. Oh, I thought that was the right size. Usually I try to heat shrink around the whole entire thing and make one solid installation. Let me go see if I can find some heat shrink tubing. I'll be right back while you guys stare at my mess. Oh, you know what? I think I have some right here. I do. I don't have to even leave my chair. Here we go. And the nice part is, even if the glue does not stick very well, this will tie it all together so it will stay together. So it only has to stay glued just long enough for me to get the heat shrink tubing on. And I need a piece about yay long. So let's go a little bit longer right there. We'll just slide that over there. Ah. Oh, where's my screwdriver? All right, got my screwdriver here. We'll just set that right there so we can hang on to that and cook it like a marshmallow over the heat gun. And let's go ahead and heat this up and make that piece that. Now, as you do this, you want to keep stopping and checking because it's going to move and slide on you, as you can see. Otherwise, if you wait too long, it will shrink and be unchangeable. So make sure you're checking this, lining it up right where you want it. Come on, stay. All right, and while now it's still hot, let's go ahead and do our final trim on it. Put that back on the screwdriver for right now. And while it's hot, it's very pliable, so you could reshape it if you needed to, but once it cools down, it becomes pretty solid. All right, there we go. There is our piece that's going to go inside He-Man's head. See, it just fits right in there, and it also goes onto the body here, and that's what we're going to use. We'll let it cool down for a second, and that will hold our head in place. Now, a couple things you can do is, one, you can leave it like this. You may have to stack some more O-rings on there, we'll see. Or two, you can actually put stuff around it to hold it in place, like a two-part epoxy or something else. Now, the head is made to go over the neck a little bit like this, so hopefully I got that adjusted just right so it will fit on there just like that. I probably should have tried it on the figure first just to make sure. But even without the O-rings, you can see it actually does fit on there nicely the way we sanded it. So that's the trick, is to get it so it fits right up against that neck right there. And you know what? I can already see that I used way too many O-rings. So I'll probably be pulling this installation apart. Yep. No, I didn't need that washer in the middle. I was thinking that too. See, that's why I should have tried it actually on the figure. Lesson learned. Let's cut this open. Try it again. Luckily, I still have some heat shrink tubing left. Oof. Let's go and try the spacing out before I glue it all together. That would be the wise plan, right? Wise guy, eh? Oop. Yep, that is actually the right height. So I should have, actually it still looks kind of tall there. Let me try this plain. Let's try without any washers at all, just for kicks to see. Nope, that's too low. Little bit too high. Okay. He just needs another O-ring from the boot size. Let's try that out now. Yep, that would have been the right size. Okay. Now that we know what we're doing, let's put her all back together. Get ourselves some handy dandy super glue. Now the nice part is you guys get to see my thought process of how things work and how things fall apart, so you can see how you put it back together, because you will find when you do things, sometimes they just never work out right the first time, but you just keep trying and trying and eventually it will work. There we go. We'll just slip that back on there. I'm going to use my scissors, they're a little wider than the, and nope, still too big for that one. And we're going to go ahead and try this one. This is a 1-inch size heat shrink tube that I'm using. And I made it extra long so that when we heat it up, we can cut off the excess. Make sure you heat it up all the way around town. And let's go ahead and cut off the excess now. Whew, that gets really hot. Ouch. You got to do it while it's hot, otherwise it ends up getting kind of hard on you to cut, and I can feel it's starting to cool down already. Whew, hot, hot, hot. Some like it hot, hot, hot. Now you can see right here is the part that's wider, so it's going to go on this way. So wait till this cools down a little bit, and then we will pop it on the figure. Use a Q-tip to make sure all the super glue inside is dry, so we don't accidentally glue it on our figure's head. Let's go ahead and pop that on there. It's a really nice fit. Stick the head on there. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. There is our He-Man. He-Man. And he's got the old 80s head on the cool one. Ugh. Hooray. There he is. The ultimate He-Man Origins figure. I just got to fix the paint on his hair and he will be set. So, what do you guys think? Let's see. Oh yeah, your old Star Wars figures. All right, so one last thing to open. I do not have any Battle Cats left because I ended up selling them all. So let me go ahead and open up this Battle Cat. And we can stick our He-Man figure on there. Now, I've already opened some Battle Cats. You guys have seen that before. I know Battle Cats kind of getting old now. We all seen them in all over the place because that seems to be the one figure that's left. And it looks like this one has seen better days. The box. And now that I'm destroying it, trying to get it out of here, it's seen even better days since then. Ooh. Come out of there, Battle Cats. Come out. Ugh. Hooray. We got him out of there. All right, as you guys know, always save these cool little rubber bands in the front that are attached. Now these you can cut, the ones that are only half. But the ones that go all the way around, the 4 rubber bands, those you want to keep for customs, because you will find that they have lots and lots of uses. Now, one of my complaints about this Battle Cat, as you know, is that there's no articulation in his ankle, which of course drives me completely crazy, because you guys know that even there we go. Where is that cat? There we go. Even the cat we got for our Mega Constructs has ankle articulation. And it's kind of funny. You look at the articulation on this, and his head can move all kinds of ways. I mean, this thing almost has better head articulation than the actual Battle Cat. And the way they designed this front piece here, it's just like the classics. Now, somebody did ask me to make a different head for this. Let me show this to you. My different head. There we go. And so I made, it's not painted yet, a small little Cringer head. Look at that. Because they wanted a miniature Cringer to go with their Mega Constructs. And so I actually have some heads sitting, oops, down on my printer right now. Now it does fit a little loose, depends on how you sand it. So I sanded this one, and the last set I sold, I sanded one and gave someone one that was unsanded. But you can kind of see he's got the snaggle tooth and everything. It's my same Cringer head just shrunk down to fit onto this Mega Constructs. So how cool is that? Anyway, and I changed the back half so it actually fits correctly. So you still got some articulation in there. And of course, if you were to use some poster putty, it'd work a lot better. The head I sent to one of the customers actually did fit better. I was kind of jealous a little bit that he got the good one, but there we go. All right. Yep, little baby Battle Cat. So here we go. Here's our Battle Cat. Battle Cat, our He-Man 80's head. Dun, dun, dun. And then our new silver battle axe, because I like that battle axe. And if we want, we can even steal his extra hand. I remember where I put that. Somewhere on this table here. And he's got the silver sword as opposed to the gray one. But you know what? What really bugs me is this is not a full piece sword. Why can't it be full piece? Did I lose that hand already? No, I've already lost the hand. Luckily, it's not the hand that feeds me. Unbelievable. Did I leave it in the package? Let's take a look and see. Nope, not in the package. I suppose you guys could probably see it on the table here. Do you see a hand sitting around here? I tell you, this video has been full of all kinds of crazy errors. Well, anyway, I do want to show you some other battle armor He-Mans we've seen in the past. Now, it wasn't really battle armor He-Man so much as more battle sound He-Man. But in 2000X, they gave us this cool He-Man right here in both silver and gold. And he kind of reminds me a lot of the Battle Armor He-Man. So we're talking Battle Armor He-Man. And he has the cool sound effect. And he came in both silver and gold. And the gold one had the same back piece, but had a silver chain on it. So if you wanted the colors to match, you'd buy both and swap the pieces. So that's kind of the way that you do that. But the cuffs are gold on one and silver on the other. So kind of cool. I actually like the gold one better, but I like the silver cuffs better. So out of luck, because these parts are not interchangeable. So there you go. Did someone say they saw my hand on there? Yes, the battle armor sword should have been your left, your other left. Do you see the hand out here, you guys? Well, now we know how these parts get lost. I don't know if I knocked it down when I was sanding. I don't see it on the ground anywhere. Oh, I can't believe I lost his hand already. That was the coolest thing, to be able to replace his hand to do that. When I was a kid, we would take a Fisto and swap arms just so He-Man would have two hands. No. Anyway, check out Battle Armor He-Man. He's so cool. Oh, yep, this is the old one. This is the cool one. Something I wanted to do was I was really hoping to take these two and merge them into one. I was hoping these arms would come off, so then I could put them onto this Battle Armor and make myself a Battle Armor He-Man that has bending elbows and rotating shoulder cuffs. That'd been so cool, but unfortunately, we're stuck with the little mini Battle Armor He-Man chest. Drives me crazy. Ooh. You guys have seen my Battle Armor He-Man shirt that I made too. If you haven't, check it out. Search my videos for my Halloween costumes, and you will see my Battle Armor He-Man t-shirt that I made. I actually took and scanned, I think it was this one. I actually scanned this one in, or I took a picture of my camera and then cleaned it up with my paint program and made a t-shirt out of it. It was pretty cool. I really lost that hand. No. Anyway, since I can't swap the hand out, I guess I will end this video unless you guys have any questions. Let me check the feedback for questions. Let's see. Yep, I get it. Totally, you're saying, Pop Actor. I was thinking the exact same thing. They should have made the sword that came with Battle Armor He-Man the other direction, so it was the same as the Skeletor sword we got at first. They'd fit together, and they should have done the same with Battle Armor Skeletor. They should have made his fit together too, so you can have a full silver or a full purple, just like we saw with Classics. But no, they gave us the same lame, just a different shade of color, and yeah, it's kind of annoying. Yep, that would have been cool. Or just give us a full sword. That'd have been cool too. I'd have been even happier with that. I still cannot believe I lost that hand. Unbelievable. I am glad my head is attached, because my wife has to find things for me all the time that I've misplaced somewhere. We'll just steal the Rock's hand. No. Ugh. Of course, it is a different shade. I guess I can't do to the Rock. You can have your hand back. Ugh. There you go. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Make yourself some cool custom He-Man heads. I mean, that actually came out better than I thought. That does look way better than this would have. Let's go ahead and stick that head on so you guys can see. I mean, that's kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. It has its fun points, but I just like the 80's head so much better. It just totally rocks. And now I got my own on there. If I want to glue it, I can onto the piece it goes on. There you go. All right. Anyway, you guys, thanks for subscribing or watching. And I will see you next video. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and hopefully I'll have some stuff coming up soon. Bye now.